Shalom everyone. I have the time to make this video on my laptop, and that's why I decided to do it, because I'm making use of every opportunity to teach you guys and inform you guys whenever possible. Now listen, I've made a video about an hour ago, common distraction. I highly recommend you to listen to that video, okay? Now look, you need to understand this. A distraction is meant to shift your focus. You probably already know this, but I'm going to repeat it anyway because I want to alert you about something. Okay, I'm going to use an illustration as you're used to me. When you, let's say like this, let's say that there's a thief that wants to rob, let's say there's a robber, he wants to break into your house. Okay, and let's say that you are at Starbucks or at McDonald's somewhere. A thief rarely breaks into your house when you are at home. He or she, because they're also female robbers, he or she is not stupid. So when they notice that you are not at home, they'll try to make their move. But hold on a minute, there are also neighbors. So what might a thief do? Often a thief is collaborating with someone. Let's say they have a partner in crime, and the partner in crime fakes an injury somewhere down in the street. Begins to scream for help and all of that. What happens is the neighbors will hear that someone crying for help, so they will go and check. Their focus is now upon that individual crying for help and what's going on. So their focus is not upon the house upon your house, I mean. Normally they don't even focus upon your house. But now they can't even notice something so weird about your house because they're distracted. And they're not aware they're distracted because they're just reacting to something that happens. Well, at the same time, they're focusing upon the so-called injured individual, the thief, or I would say robber, enters your home. And when you come back from Starbucks or wherever you were, you arrive at home and you notice that there's stuff missing. And now you call the police and all of that, and you begin to think, hold on a minute, how is it possible that someone robbed my house on clear daylight and none of the neighbors noticed it? What you're thinking is right. But the thing is, that thought comes from an evil spirit that witnessed everything. Because that evil spirit wants to distract you also. So now you become suspicious of your neighbors. You're distracted now by a potential threat of your neighbors because you somehow believe the thought that came up into you that your neighbors had something to do with it. So now you become upset with your neighbors. And your neighbors now also over time going to notice that you've distanced yourself from them. So now they're becoming upset with you. Now they're going to think, oh, hold on, what is he up to? What is she up to? So now you are distracted. The neighbors are distracted, while the thief and his or her partner in crime got away with whatever they wanted to get away with. You understand what I'm trying to say with this illustration? A distraction is meant to shift your focus. And the thing is, a distraction is seldom something unimportant. For example, someone is not going to distract you with things as the moon does not exist. Or something like something stupid like the Romans are trying to invade Utrecht. I mean, something that's so nonsensical and so out of touch with facts, people are not going to even pay attention to it. But if you come with something like there's a terrorist threat, or a bomb just exploded in the city, or if indeed there is a lot of sound because people are quarreling, that's something relevant and important to the situation. But just because it's relevant does not mean that you should pay attention to it. Now, this is what I'm saying. Just because something is relevant, that does not mean it deserves your attention. Because criminals that want to rob or do something to take some advantage from you or from other people, they are going to use relevant things to distract you. Because it's factual relevant, you are going to pay attention to it. If it was totally irrelevant, you wouldn't even bother with it. And that's what the enemy is doing with our lives also. Look, there are things that are relevant to you, like paying bills, your marriage, your kids, or your parents, or whatever. There are things that are relevant, okay? They are. But just because something is relevant, that does not mean it has to take all of your focus. And this is something that the enemy often does. He begins to disturb some things in our environment, and our whole focus goes to those disturbances and trying to fix them or trying to deal with them, that we don't notice the other things that are going on. Okay? One clear example of that is worrying. The devil and his demons, they want you to worry about the future, what might happen, so that you won't enjoy and relax in the present. Why? Because he knows that the moment you are in worrying, that means that you're operating in fear, you're operating in disagreement with Christ, you're opening yourself up to his agenda. Haven't you noticed that? That the moment you refuse to worry and you refuse to agree with Christ, that no matter how much threats come your way, none of those threats seem to happen? Look, I'm going a bit deeper with this. These terrorist attacks that are happening, there is real terror happening all over the world. And their terrorist attacks are increasing also. But there are a lot of fake attacks that happen also that get media attention. Now, why is this happening? Why are some mainstream media corporations fabricating fake events while they're real events that they should report on? Let me tell you what's going on. They are distracting you. Because when they show you all these fake events that appear real, there comes a time that you are tired of it, that you're fed up with it, and you begin to think that everything is fake. So that when the real events happen near you, you begin to think that's fake also. Look, distractions happen all the time, okay? And it's nothing new, okay? For example, if people want to break up a marriage, what will they do? They will tend to distract one of the partners of the marriage. It can be that you have a so-called old friend of the wife that's not a friend of her anymore, that's lonely and frustrated, and she is envious of her former friend being married, and now she begins to contact her former friend, spend time with her. Why? So that she won't spend time with her husband anymore. Such things. Now, don't get me wrong, not everything that happens is an intended distraction to you. Don't get things twisted. Just realize this. Distractions are there. Okay? And often we're too occupied with the relevant facts in our circumstances and around us. I'm not saying those things aren't relevant, I'm just saying they shouldn't get all your focus. Okay? And I'm going to a little bit deeper. This is how deep I think you can go. I can be wrong, but the thing is, there is a hidden war going on in the spiritual realm. Yes, Jesus has won. That doesn't mean that the powers of darkness have surrendered. They will have to surrender, and they will surrender. Inevitably they will have to surrender. But meanwhile, until Christ returns, there is war. Both among the powers of darkness, but the powers of darkness, in their anger, they unite against believers. And they will try to do whatever they can to attack and hinder believers. And besides that, you also have the world that's filled with contention here and there. So there's a war going on. And this spiritual war that manifests also in the natural, in human relationships and economics, is far deeper than terrorist attacks, far deeper than so-called Islamization and all of that. Because listen, today there's a report that came out from South Korea, because in 2018 Korea will hold the Olympic Games, I believe the Summer Games. I can't be wrong, maybe it's the Winter Games, but as far as I remember, it's the Summer Games of the Olympic Games. But in the previous time that Korea was assigned to hold the Olympic Games, they violated human rights. They kidnapped teenagers and many other people, especially young people, and they forced them to labor. And some of those people died due to beatings that they received at the hands of guards. Many of those people were released afterwards. But the thing is, when they were reporting what happened to them, nobody wanted to believe them, and their reports at the police stations were often thrown away. But now, after many, many years, the truth is being revealed about what happened. Many of the former victims are speaking out, and many other people in South Korea are also noticing the cover-up. Well, the thing is, people in South Korea, they're not very worried about North Korea. I've been to South Korea. People are not living in terror or whatever. The thing is, the media is portraying North Korea as a danger, as a nuclear threat. We need to look out for North Korea. Now hold on a minute. People always talk about the North of Korea as being the bad country, the axis of evil. But wait a minute, there are human rights violations taking place in South Korea there's also a US military camp. Hold on a minute. Why isn't anyone talking about the human rights violations in South Korea? The thing is, people are distracted by news concerning North Korea, that they begin to associate to the South as safe. While also in the South there are bad stuff happening. Also in the South there are people disappearing. There are cults active. I mean, the thing is, for example, in the United States, it often happens that police officers shoot someone down and kills people without, they just kill people. I'm not saying all police officers doing it. I didn't say that. I'm saying there are racist police officers doing it. And it's not just blacks they kill, also whites, Hispanics. And there are more people dying in the United States due to police brutality than they die of, terrorism or jihadism. Yet the whole focus is upon the war of terror, upon ISIS, upon Al-Qaeda. Listen, if you are living in the United States and you have a high chance of being gunned down by a psychopathic police officer, or you might die because someone that's mentally unstable has a gun and he or she begins to shoot like crazy. I'm sorry, but who cares about Al-Qaeda and ISIS all the way there in the Middle East while we have all these dangers here? The thing is, distractions are meant to shift your focus. Okay, I'm not saying that terrorism and all of that is not relevant, because there's nothing bad happening. There is threat, but there is a far greater threat that you're not aware of because you're distracted. Look, it's not implied for you to be focused on threats and dangers. That's not what I'm aiming with this video. The whole thing is, Jesus said to continue in my word. And often people are hindered in continuing in his word because they are occupied by the relevant facts around them. And often their environment keeps pushing them on those relevant facts. But listen to what I'm saying. A believer is not someone that's irresponsible or lazy. A believer is someone that's active in the word, that agrees with the word, and because they are in agreement with the word, the Holy Spirit is working out its fruits, his fruits through them. And that blessing, that anointing itself. So that's why you have to continue in His Word, because when you continue in His Word, His Word will heal you, restore you, and all of that. When you focus on relevant facts only, that's it. You're going to be stuck with relevant facts. And when you're stuck, you're also open to all kinds of spells, curses, and all dangers. That being said, you all, I hope this video has informed you and illuminated you, benefited you in some way. Be blessed. Shalom.